So that gives you, in a nutshell, sort of our philosophy of why we do what we do, how we do what we do, and some testimonies. Open it up for questions now. Anything you want to ask or comment about would be great.
How did you guys meet?
Oh, that's a whole other story.
How did
That's
we
a
meet?
whole other hour.
Well, that actually is the reason we went into theater and ministry, because we were so touched by the grace of God. I'll give you the shocking 1-cent version. You can get the dollar version, which is on CD. It really is. It's a radio show that we...
But you don't have to pay $1.
Better pay more than that, then. Anyway, it's anyway, I was married when I was 19 years old to someone that wasn't Ruth, and that marriage was fraught with legalism and many things. But anyway, I moved out to California to join a Christian theater out there, and Ruth was already out there. We knew each other from college, actually, but Ruth was already out there, and Ruth and I had an affair. And of course, we quit the Christian theater, and I divorced my first wife. The guilt was so horrible, I didn't think I could live. I kept saying, I can see myself living 5 years from now, but I don't think I'm going to live through today. And I actually became so overwhelmed with guilt that after we were married, she thought her punishment was God was living with a crazy man, because I was just, you know, homeless people, they sit around walking the streets and talk to themselves. I would walk the house and go, stop. You know, I would just go over arguments, I'd go over different things, because now that I was married to Ruth, not only was I a divorced man, now it was too late to reconcile with my first wife, which was my way back to God. And so I was just going crazy with guilt. And then through a fellow by the name of Jack Miller, who's now gone to be with the Lord, started preaching about grace that we had never heard before. And this was 30 years ago. So it's before a lot of the grace messages were out there, a lot of legalism and stuff. And so it so changed our lives when we came to the grace of God and forgiveness of God that we started writing sketches and things to show His grace. So that's that. So people ask me how we met. I said Motel 6.
So, yeah, what hit you sort of like, you kind of went, what? I don't know if I agree with that. That's the stuff I want to do.
Shut up, Darren.
I'm not asking Darren, I'm asking the fellows.
No, I said God.
Yeah.
Not necessarily what I didn't agree with, but just wanting to hear your perspective, because back in South Africa we've been having talks about taking down the white Jesus.
Tell me
Taking
again.
down the white Jesus. So
Oh,
just like,
yeah.
whatever, and then there's been like a lot of discussion as a black person, how do you, as a black follower, how do you share the gospel? When a lot of black people say, colonizers came and brought us, and it's even in the church it's a very white sort of setting, we dress and worship the same way.
Mm-hmm.
Now how do you, as a white people going to the black churches, or just trying to, so how do you live life like that?
You know, it's something we really haven't encountered that much, in the sense of the kind of people that, I mean, I have a board on Pinterest called Cultures, and because I have that, I get all these things that Israelites and white like Jesus and everything like that. We haven't encountered that many people, but again, love covers a multitude of sins, and even political things. I was talking to Rachel the other day. I'm beginning to see that most political stances people take, like a lot of harsh stances people take in their life, are really walls they're constructing to keep you from their heart. And if you can circumvent that and try to get to the heart, then a lot can happen. So, you know, anybody with any sense can look at pictures of Israelis or Arabs and see that the skin is very, very dark. And if you think that Jesus was as white as what's portrayed, then, you know, you're just crazy.
Yeah, I mean, I grew up in Africa, and you know, so that was a long time ago, and you know, people hadn't thought through all these things, and so the white missionaries who went took what they knew, right, their cultural understanding of the Bible, and expressed it in such ways that then the followers that they gained were worshiping in that way. But I think as we grow in a little more understanding, as we become a more global society, you know, we, if you can let down that wall that Charlotte was talking about, you know, I think we have to guard, for some reason, our stature or whatever in society, but, you know, we can let all that down, and God expresses himself through every single culture there is, you know, in their own way. Look at the way the Israelites worship, so different from, you know, our Sunday morning worship service. And yet God was there. God is here in our worship. So I think it's sort of a straw man. I mean, I think it is something we should listen to and hear, because it's been abusive, I think, in cases culturally. Like, you have to do it this way because this is the way God presents himself, which is not true, of course. But I don't think it's stopping God anymore. Yes.
One comment on that?
Yes.
I think before like colonial mission work, when like monks would go to a place like if you go to Ethiopia, which was you know, obviously an African country, like the icons that they have from like the 3rd and 4th century of Jesus in Ethiopia, Jesus is not white.
Right, yeah.
So like when and if you went to India, same thing. Jesus would not be white. He would come to reflect like the ethnicity of the culture in the same way that he's incarnated as a man. He would be incarnated in that culture in a mode of that they could identify with.
Yeah.
And so I mean the same thing is true of like Buddhist iconography, right? You go to
You have
Buddha
the fat
was,
Buddha and you have the skinny
Yeah.
Buddha.
well, no, like
Fat people is good.
the Buddha was
Happy
an
people
Indian
is sad.
man, and yet most of the depictions of Buddha today are
I was joking.
an Asian. You know?
Yeah.
So
Yeah, that's true. I mean, did that sort of answer?
Yeah.
Was that sort of what you were asking?
Would you, I'd like to think of some questions while Ruth and I did a sketch.